Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Gemini in June 2020. Hello, Gemini. How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. Okay, friends. Well, happy birthday right off the bat to you guys celebrating in June. Also to the Geminis who were born early, celebrating at the end of May. No matter when your special day was, I hope it was indeed a special day. Where I am, a lot of restrictions during this pandemic are easing up. So hopefully, Geminis, you guys are able to go back out into the world, celebrate with friends a little bit, maybe grab a drink or a bite to eat, depending on where you are. And if not, I still hope you're having an amazing birthday and an amazing birthday season. For those who are unaware, I did post your birthday reading, I think it was like about a week ago or something like that. So if you haven't checked that out, check your playlist and you'll see it there. And also right off the bat, guys, a quick announcement for you. I will go live for Gemini specifically in June on, I think it's June the 13th, 2 Saturdays from now. Yeah, 2 Saturdays from now. I'm recording this on the 30th. So if you're interested in getting a tarot question answered by me, you can check for me to go live on June 13th, okay? I usually go live around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern, I forget what the D stands for, but whatever. So if you're around and you're able to hang out, totally cool. I had a card flip over here, Six of Swords, so some of you might be interested in moving on from a certain situation, a certain person, or just, making progress, getting back out into the world, right? Now that, a little bit of the restrictions are easing up, I feel a lot of people are trying to breathe, take a breath of relief. So that's kind of what that feels like as well. Okay. All right, Gemini, any other announcements? Oh, yeah. And aside from your birthday live, I do plan to go do like a surprise live at some point in June for the entire collective. So if you didn't catch me for the birthday message that I'm going to do for you guys on the 13th, maybe you'll catch me during that surprise live. If you are subscribed, make sure your notifications are turned on so that you can see when I'm actually live on the channel, okay? And that is the general announcements. Let's do the regular spiel. Gemini, that's your spread there. I've shuffled off camera. Ta-da. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all your cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is already in the description box if you want to jump ahead. You'll also find the information that you need if you want to purchase a personal reading with me down in the description box. If you have a question before you place an order, feel free to email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can. Also, you'll see the link to my Instagram down there. And in case you missed the name in the title or the opening, it is EmpathicFire Tarot. Boom, it'll appear there again on the screen. Give me a follow if you choose. I'm interpreting oracle cards over there as of now. A couple times throughout the week whenever I have time to, take a moment and be quiet and still and reflect. But I'm also eventually probably going to develop some like pick a card stuff and post that on there. So if you want to show me a follow or shows you, oh my God, I can't even talk. And that's interesting. That was a part of your meditation. Anyway, if you want to drop me a follow, show your support, that'd be totally cool. All right, let's get into it. Gemini. Let's see the outcome for Gemini in June 2020, please. Outcome for Gemini in June 2020, please show me. There it is. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And all your cards came face up. So that's kind of interesting because in your meditation, I was like really jumbled because, I do like a little mantra and I do like a little speech with my guides, that gets me in the mood, so to speak. And my words were really jumbled, but all your cards came face up, which usually is an indicator to me as a reader that there's a lot of clarity involved in your situation or that is of interest to you. But the ironic thing, of course, is being tongue-tied while I was doing your meditation. So that was very interesting to me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it, Gemini. Please show me where Gemini is in June 2020. Please show me Gemini in June 2020. Please show me. Okay, one more time, please. Okay, that's very confusing. They're giving me two positions and it's like very equal. And I don't want it to be equal. I want one. So give me one more second. Show me where Gemini is in June 2020. Please show me. Okay, we got it. So Gemini, I'm doing a lot of explanation of sort of like my behind the scenes, what I do. So when I ask, I'm waiting for them to guide me, and they were in two card positions, and the other position, when I got connected to it, my face and like I became uncomfortable. But then when this card was presented as well, I got relaxed or I felt comfortable. So I'm feeling you're of two minds or you're having two reactions to something like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and start, for God's sakes. Gemini, coming in to June, you come in with the energy of the Chariot card. Major Arcana for Cancer. Some of you could be dealing with a Cancer, but you don't have to be. That kind of fits what came out for you in the pre-shuffle or when I was doing my introduction. Six of Swords, right? So here's progress, here's movement forward, here's momentum, here's feeling inspired and capable, or if not, I feel like also for some of you, maybe like 20 to 30% of you, it's like an imperative, I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to go. Some of you, this could be just simply getting back out into some type of daily routine where you're making runs to the coffee shop, you're dropping clothes off at the laundromat, or whatever the hell you need to do, right? For others, it's like progress in your career or progress in your life in general, and there's like a no holding back, no holds barred kind of energy. Feels like you want to take on the energy or the mindset of nothing's gonna stop me, I'm unstoppable, like confident. And that confidence or this drive forward feels protective or like you're proving something to yourself, to other people, I don't know. But it's like no longer am I gonna be whatever was happening in the past. The future is the most important thing. The moments that haven't even come upon your life, the people, the situations, the jobs, the adventures, everything that you haven't experienced yet, or you haven't ever had for yourself, or you've been planning for but had put off, or plans got canceled or delayed or whatever, it's like now is the time, and now I'm just gonna move forward. And it feels like, if I'm honest, some of you are running away from something, okay? And that can be good or bad, I don't really know the details. That's your life, that's your business, yeah? But what this feels like is okay. That song, that Billy Joel song, "We Didn't Start the Fire," right? It's like turning away from bad things. It's turning away from unfortunate circumstances, or circumstances that were not serving you, circumstances and people and places that were harmful to you or hurtful to you, or left a sour taste in your mouth, or whatever. And in some of your cases, it feels like a triumph, like in spite of the odds kind of thing, because that's really what that song is about. That Billy Joel song, right, is about triumphing over adversity, or despite all the bad things that have happened previous to this present moment, we're going to do better. Or the other part of that song is, we can't be held accountable for the way things are because we didn't start the fire, right? So all of these terrible things that Billy Joel is listing off that have happened in American history or in world history have nothing to do with the present generation's capabilities or impact, right? It's very interesting, and it's he stacks it over several decades, over a few generations. So if you don't know that song, go ahead and listen to it, and maybe that means something to you. But I like this tentatively. For some of you, it's quite an escapist energy, and I'm like, we'll see. We'll see what else happens, okay? So what else happens for Gemini? Please show me. Okay. So some of you have, like, abandoned ship on something and you feel good about it, or you feel like it was the right thing to do or something like that. Um, yeah, this feeling of escapism is now like revving up now that I'm interacting with the rest of the board here. So Gemini, I feel like you're making this progress, and I'm all for progress. I'm all here for it, right? Contextually though, there's a lot for you to take into account, and I think you don't want to take it into account. Yes, okay, thank you. So, first thing that we see here, or that I see as the reader, is the Eight of Pentacles effectively behind you. Because look at the way that the Chariot is oriented on the card. It's turning away from, when you put it down on the board, where the Eight of Pentacles is, right? So Eight of Pentacles talks about hard work, being dedicated to a task, apprenticeships, learning, or some type of putting in your due diligence. Yeah. It can be sometimes like a light version of workaholism. So I'm not, if you're taking a break, you're taking a mental vacation, or what do you call that? A mental health day. If you've been working a lot recently, or your job has been extra stressful, or the situations and the people that you deal with are extra stressful. This is you like saying, I need a break from all of that. I need to recalibrate, right? And that makes sense. In other cases, this is, and you guys know I would hope you know yourself, so hold yourself accountable. That's something that I absolutely tout as part of my work. You have to be accountable for yourself and know your shortcomings and know your shortfalls, yeah? And for some of you, this is like you actually haven't put in a lick of work. You haven't put in an ounce of sweat towards something that or you were encouraged to put work into, right? Like for some of you, and I don't know your reasons why. I'm not sitting here saying you're making a bad move. Again, hold yourself accountable, know yourself, know what your situation is, and, use your own discernment. But I'm getting the sense like people have like abandoned their jobs, abandoned their posts, abandoned school, like dropped out. And there's nothing wrong with it coming from somebody who had to drop out twice, okay? So that's no shade, no tea. I've done it myself. But there's this feeling, because it's right next to the Chariot, where you're doing it quickly and possibly impulsively. And perhaps, like I said, for some of you, it is an issue with your stability, or your mental health, right? If school or work has been overwhelming and it has been crushing you, or you've lost your way. Maybe you're studying in a program that no longer resonates with you. You were working in a job that no longer resonates with you, and you don't have the heart for it. Totally makes sense. But possibly the issue is the manner in which you abandoned, or the manner in which you left the situation. Yeah. This could be personal, or excuse me, in terms of personal relationships, it could be down to that. You could have chucked a deuce on somebody and was just like, look, it's over, and you walked out the door without any type of reasoning. And that happens in life. Again, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to shade anybody, but it feels like the manner in which and by the way, it's a general, it could be the other way, take it with a grain of salt. If it's flipped, and that's perfect. The message hopefully still resonates with you. But whoever walked away possibly did so in such a way that it left whoever was on the other side, your professors, your bosses, your relationship partners, your family members, your friends, whoever, kind of scratching their heads. And it could be like such a stark contrast, because look at like this person on this card, this woman. She's sitting down painting at this easel, creating all these wonderful works of art, very stationary. Where did we start in your message, Gemini? We started with the Chariot. This woman is flying through the sky on a damn chariot, fast moving, going from a still place, a predictable place, a place where possibly expectations were a little out of your league. No, I shouldn't say out of your league. I'm sorry. Not up to your standards, or like I said, you no longer felt attached to, or it just doesn't work for you anymore. Whatever it was, the job, the school, the person, the people, the something about yourself. For some of you, this could be a personal journey. This could be something to do with your internal life, okay? And you're making like this 180-degree turn and going the other way, like immediately, like bang, straight out the gate the other way. It's very interesting. Again, no shade, no judgment. I don't know the rhymes or the reasons. I'm sure you're very justified, but I think other people around you are like very confused, very shocked. Some are feeling pissed or hurt and abandoned, but again, as an individual, you have your reasonings. And how you reconcile that with the people and that know and love you and whatever entanglement you have, that's your business, okay? So, what else happens here, Gemini? Yes, so you have been wanting to do this. You have been, it's very interesting, Gemini. For the past few readings, I'd say for like the past month and a half, in many of your readings that I've done for you guys, there's been this or that energy, totally, a part of your duality archetype, right? For 1 minute you're thinking this and feeling this, and then the next minute or the next day you're thinking the opposite, or you're thinking something completely different, right? And that's what this feels like. I feel like you have been wanting to do this, but you haven't done it. And you've been in between. What should I do? What can I do? What would be best for me? How do I feel here? Well, I feel this way. And then like 2 hours later, but I also feel this way. And I feel, Gemini's mental dexterity, the way that you're able to really think multiple plot lines or multiple pathways at once, is both a gift and also a detriment, because it feels like you end up showing this impulsive side to other people, but to you it's not impulsive. To you it's like, well, I've weighed all the options and it's been in my head for days and I've thought about this for weeks on end, and now that I finally decided, this is what's going to happen. And other people are like, but wait a minute, where did this come from? And you're like, I've been thinking. What are you talking about? I've been thinking about it. Anyway, so what I'm getting is you've been in this position for a while. Knight of Pentacles, slowly moving forward, right? All knights move forward, but the Knight of Pentacles moves forward the slowest, right? Pentacles being represented by earth signs, so Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. You could be dealing with an earth sign, but you don't have to be. So I get the sense that things have been in development for you on a quiet internal space. Maybe you've been planning, maybe you've changed your plans 2 or 3 times, and now that you're finally in a place of, well, I think this is the best option, I'm going to move forward. The movement forward is like a blast off energy, again, with that Chariot card beneath the Knight of Pentacles, right? So what's been going on in your head, what's been going on in your conscious mind has been evaluation. And again, like if you are doing something, and again, I think it's the people who are around you who are like, what's going on, Gemini? What are you doing? You're kind of like, what do you mean? I've been doing this. I've been thinking about this. I feel that many of you haven't shared these thoughts. Remember what I said when we started this reading. All of these cards came face up, meaning there's clarity for someone in the situation, aka you, Gemini. But in your meditation, and when I was, just out here introducing the video, there was a little bit of a tongue-tied energy that I was channeling, right? So your mind is clear, but your expression of your ideas is not clear. Meaning, have you told people this plan? Have you told people you were thinking of dropping out of school? Did you tell people you were thinking of moving halfway across the world to start a new life and pursue your dreams, living in the middle of, living in the middle of the Amazon? No. And that's your right to do as an individual, your right to do it. But it strikes people as incredibly odd, because the part of the Knight of Pentacles, or the other aspect of the Knight of Pentacles, is the Knight of Pentacles is incredibly smart. The Knight of Pentacles is incredibly savvy, moving forward slowly, methodically, with a plan. Again, you had a plan. Other people don't know this. And that's usually the way of the Knight of Pentacles. Like, people can't really... I shouldn't say people can't, but the Knight of Pentacles gets in trouble because even though it's moving forward in such a way that other people don't see it coming, right? The person, the Knight, he knows he's moving, right? He knows, I'm on my little horse, even though he's not on a horse in this card, but traditional depictions of knights usually show them on horses, right? So the Knight knows, I'm on my horse, I'm traveling from point A to point B. My destination is over there. And like, okay, I'm going to spend, 15 days on this journey, let's say. The night is like, okay, first day, I'm just going to move, maybe I'll go 100 miles. I plan to travel 100 miles, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's like an itinerary, there's an outline, there's all of this knowledge that the Knight of Pentacles has for himself. But other people don't know this around him. The people that he meets on his journey, the people that are expecting him at point B, it's just like unknown to other people. So I feel you've been very insular, very quiet about your plans. And again, some of you have reason for this. There's a big reason that you have not told people what you were planning to do. Some of you haven't even done it yet. And I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag. But not fully, because I don't know what the hell you're doing. Whatever the chariot is, you don't even have to be moving or leaving a situation. Like I said, some of you could be making different or making new changes in your life, setting up new regimens for yourself, new routines for yourself, right? Different expectations, whatever. The chariot, as it's your starting card, is very much new normal, which is, well, whatever. But new normal, yeah? There's a new set of expectations. There's a new set of rules that Gemini is interested in enacting for themselves primarily. And it may or may not affect other people around you. And if it does, you're kind of like, well, despite appearances, my friends, despite appearances, family members, despite appearances, significant other, I really was thinking a lot about this. Yeah. And you might have that conversation, you might not, but ultimately, I think for the most part, it might be too little too late to have that conversation. In some of your cases, not all. Because some of you kind of don't want to explain yourselves, and others you're kind of like reluctantly going to do so. Or others of you want to, but like I've mentioned several times now, you might be tongue-tied in the situation. You might not be able to express yourself as freely or as clearly as you would normally, or as you ever have been able to. All of you are different. Gemini, air sign, you guys are known to be good communicators, but not all of you are masters at it. Not all of you are confident in it, right? Everybody has their own, specific birth chart that's going to, skew things here or there. You know what I mean? It's going to calibrate you to a very specific type of Gemini, a very specific type of air sign, okay? Now, you've thought a lot about things and you're making this move forward. It was slowly developed over time, but now that and that's the thing about a Gemini. Once they flip the switch, it's flipped. You know what I mean? Other signs, can flip the switch and then flip it right back off. Like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I think air signs tend to flip it and then look back over their shoulder. Oh, is that what happened? Oh, damn. If there's any sense of regret, I feel Libra probably would flip the switch the slowest. Aquarius probably would flip the fastest. You're in the middle, I think. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to believe me. Anyway, so you have the Six of Cups here. You guys have been dealing with this situation, these people, this mindset, this behavior of your own, whatever it is, since you were young, or for a while. Let's say it that way. If not from your childhood or your early adulthood years, you've been doing this for a while. I don't usually feel the Six of Cups being like super nostalgic. I feel it sometimes, but that's kind of one of the bigger aspects of this card when we interpret it traditionally. I really feel that for you guys today. Like, if this is about relationships, because Six of Cups in some people's estimations, represents a soulmate card. And some of you might be dealing with soulmates. If you've been with my channel for a while, I don't hop on that bandwagon too often because I think it's a little, anyway, it doesn't matter. So my word of caution with soulmates is don't think or I would challenge people to perceive that soulmates are not always cookie cutter, rainbows and roses types of connections. Sometimes they're very difficult connections. And for some of you, you are dealing with soulmate connections with friends, family members, lovers, what have you. And it's been going on for a long time. No, strike that. Regardless of how long the relationship has been going on, you've been dealing with this energy or something very tied to your personal childhood or an intimate experience from when you were younger. And it's playing out, thank you, it's playing out with people in your adult life. Some of these people you've known since childhood, so that's where this conflation is coming in what I'm feeling. Others of you, you've only known them a few years or a few months, but they recall you, they take you back to those moments when you were younger. And for some of you, thank you, there it is. Remember when I was saying that you might be leaving situations, or people are feeling like you're abandoning situations, or you're running away. And I get the sense for some of you, the reason why is the people, the places, the environments that you're involving yourself in right now recall some of you, not all of you, back to some quite negative experiences when you were young. Yeah. I get the sense like, if, just to be, arbitrary and throw something on it. If you're dating someone, they remind you of like someone from your past who was like not good to you, right? Some of you are in relationships with a person, just again, arbitrary thing. If it fits, it fits, but please, apply it to your situation as well. But let's say you're dating a guy, and you could be male or female, no shade on anybody's orientation here, right? You're dating a guy and he's not the nicest guy. Or there are moments where you're kind of like, you just remind me of my father, right? That's a very general, very stereotypical thing that women or people who are interested in dating men date people who remind them of their father, whether that man was a good man or a dysfunctional man. And some of you are finding yourselves in dysfunctional relationships, or in relationships that remind you of what you had with your father. Now, you could take that back to Freud and other, Psych 101 courses, but that kind of what this feels like. You've been dealing in situations, whether you've known it or not, Gemini, where you've been on a journey. Many of you don't know it, but you've been on this journey to heal some type of wounding, or heal some type of trauma, or heal some type of dysfunction that you've been carrying around with you, that has been replicated, repeated through different scenarios and relationships, as it's similar to what you had in your past. Okay? So it doesn't have to be a person. It can be a job. It can be going to school. Not that, going to school, like maybe there was this expectation of you, right, from your parents or other family members when you went to school, to have good grades, to succeed, to be top of your class, to pursue something of prestige, right? And, I've said this before when I've done readings, some people, they go to school, and it's, it's a tale that we've all heard before. It's like, I went to med school because my parents expected it of me, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to pursue a career in music, or I wanted to pursue a career in sculpting or whatever. And it's just like, that's my natural inclination since I was a young person, right? Going back to that aspect of childhood. Why are you not focused? To hell with you, camera. Come on. Follow it down to the table, please. Okay, there we go. Hopefully. This deck. All right. I apologize for how blurry it is right now, but we have to move on. Anyway, so some of you, since you were a kid, have had this dream of pursuing a career in a field that your parents or your other family members would think was, not appropriate. It's not wise. It's not honorable, or whatever it is. And you're kind of like stung by that. Look at how the face, or the orientation of the Knight of Pentacles, right, looking off to the left of the card, would therefore be looking at the Six of Cups. So that's what you've been evaluating. Something that has been present in your life for years, right? It doesn't have to be when you're a little kid. It can be like from when you're like 19 or 20 or, 32. It doesn't matter. But something from the past has consumed you in a way, or it's been an inspiration for you to devise a new plan. Yeah? To do things differently with the Chariot card. To move away from the work, or the foundation, or something that is structured with the Eight of Pentacles and rooted somehow from your past. You're just like, no, I can't continue to be like this. I can't continue to live like this. I can't continue to operate this way, speak this way, live this way, whatever. So, what else happens? Okay, so this is good. I like this because some of you are like really on, and I told you, some of you have been on this journey and you're not really aware of it, or you're becoming aware of it now. I feel many of you are going to confront this person in some of your cases, the person who, and this is not advice. This is, I think, what some of you have decided to do. I'm not telling you to do this. I think you would be deciding this on your own. But I feel that some of you are going to confront the person or the representative of the person who is really sort of, for lack of a better word, the thorn in your side. Now, that's not the best phrasing because I don't feel like this King of Wands energy, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I don't, or excuse me, King of Swords. My bad, King of Swords. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So there you go. Okay, that makes sense because I was like, okay, King of Swords energy, air sign energy. Whoever this person is, whether it's your current partner, your actual father, or someone from your childhood who, had a hand in you feeling kind of awful about a situation or feeling somehow confined in a situation, whatever. King of Swords in reverse, I feel as though the reverse position is really signaling me to the past. So you'll talk about issues of the past, you'll recall situations of the past, you'll go back possibly because the Chariot card is right next to him. So some of you will go back to see this person, and it doesn't have to be your father. Kings can speak to a father archetype in our lives, but it doesn't have to be your father. This could be your mother. This could be your cousin. This could be your childhood best friend who, you know, oh, that's very specific. Okay. I'm going to say it because I'm not afraid to say these things. There is a potential for someone in this energy to have been molested by a friend or a family friend or something like that. Okay. And, this is not advice. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anybody in any type of authority to tell you what to do. This is what I think some of you have already decided to do for yourselves. And again, it might seem quite off the cuff to other people because it seems to them to be an impulsive action to go back and confront your abuser. Again, not advice. This is just what it feels like. This is what I'm interpreting, okay? So, if you're not confronting your abuser or you have no abuser to speak of or whatever your situation is, it still is this confrontation or this willingness to look at this energy. Because for some of you, it's not a specific person or it's not a person that you can single out. It is a repetitive marker that you find in your relationships, whether it be with friends, whether it be with family members, whether it be with, the people that you find yourself working with, right? You tend to see a pattern of someone in your life who is controlling, who is manipulative, or people who have been these ways to you, right? You might have a wonderful relationship with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, right? But when it comes to friendships, your friends manipulate you. Your friends try to persuade you or gossip about you. These are qualities I'm mentioning that are related to the King of Swords in reverse. King of Swords in reverse is a person who uses their words basically to do damage, right? And abuse doesn't have to be, going back a few steps. Molestation is molestation, and there's no, that is a very specific type of abuse. Some of you have been verbally abused, mentally abused throughout your life by a particular person or, again, a marker that exists in other types of people. Maybe it was a precedence set by your parents or by, your older brother or older sister or something like that. Because I do get the sense that being that this is a king, you often find it with people that are authoritative in your life or older than you, or they portray themselves to be better than or wiser than, because the King of Swords is known to be a wise king, right? He's known to be very intelligent, right? He's known to be very clever with his words. And I still feel that this person would be, but the way in which this person or the people that carry this marker, they do it abusively, or they do it manipulatively. They do it with ill intention, you know? Some of them very consciously say and do things to hurt a person, to cut a person down, to make them feel small, right? Others, they do it subconsciously and they don't know that they're this way, even though people are telling them, "Hey, Beth, the way you say things to people, the way that you communicate is actually kind of rotten, and you need to clean yourself up. You need to, speak nicer to people, or show more respect with your words." And Beth is like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Okay, like pleasantly or conveniently ignorant of their own impact, right? And again, this can be general. If you're cross-watching for a Gemini and this is what the Gemini has done to you, perfect. It fits your life. Now, more about this person. Controlling in some aspects, or to certain degrees, yeah. The problem with this person, or not even the problem, the interesting thing about this person is this is like feeling a little bit like a David and Goliath type story, which again kind of plugs back into the few cases that are out in this energy where we're talking about some type of abuse, where it is unheard of, unbelievable that this person would be so bad, that this person is such a monster. David and Goliath. Like, we are, most of us, I would hope, as informed adults, I assume you guys are informed, there is trouble with people who are the victims of types of abuse at whatever stage in their life, by whatever hand, that if someone is more powerful than you, older than you, supposed to be a friend, supposed to be a caretaker, supposed to be someone who loves you, it's kind of tradition in the worst way to use that word, but it's very typical, let's say it that way, typical, that you're not believed because it's unfathomable for some reason. And as a logical adult person, and I've thought this way since I was a teenager, it doesn't make sense to me. And I've said it on my channel in other contexts, and I'm going to say it here now. There's this assumption that we have in life that our parents or other relatives and people that are close to us when we're brought up, or that we consider to be part of our, close friends and family circles, right? We assume these people care about us and they want to see the best for us, and they're going to take care of us and love us and nurture us, right? That's the assumption. But you know what happens with assumptions? You, as my mom used to say, you make an ass out of you and me. And I'm sure other mothers and people have said that. But when you assume things, you make an ass out of you and me, right? So, the assumption is your parents don't harm you. Some of you have lived that life. Your parents absolutely harmed you. And that David and Goliath thing comes up because it's like, to other people, other relatives, to people in the community, everything looked like cushy and cozy in your house. And that wasn't your reality. So you're trying your best to break away from those memories, that thing that has existed for years or decades in your life, the expectation that you are supposed to be, I guess, loyal, dedicated, unwavering as a daughter or a son of XYZ person. And you're out here over time, slowly over time, developing your truth, or developing the bravery to express your truth. Again, with this feeling of all these cards came face up, but in your meditation and sometimes during this reading, I've been a little tongue-tied. Now you're at a position, Gemini, that you're ready to face this person, or face the criticisms that people are going to throw to you in defense of that person. Gemini, what are you talking about? You're talking about things that happened 20 years ago. That's going to be an issue, right? You're talking about things that, how would you know? You were a child. Like, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fixate wholly on this story, but I hope you're able to see the example. It could be current. It doesn't have to be about abuse. It could simply be about, poor business practices. If this is a work situation and you know that your boss or somebody who's a higher up in the company has been smuggling money or doing dirty, underhanded shit at the job, and you call this person out, they're a VP, they're a senior, this and that, and you're just some, lowly supervisor or somebody that works in the damn mailroom, or you're the custodian in the building, and you're a whistleblower, right? And people are critical of whistleblowers as well. This person, King of Swords, male, female, doesn't matter their sign, they operate in an untouchable fashion, whether they're aware of that or not, and they work that angle or not. But they're like high on a mountain. David and Goliath. Excuse me. So, I feel you want to confront this person, or at least the situations that you found yourself in with this person. Because in some of your cases, this person is not in your life. The perpetrator of the initial hurt, or the perpetrator of that feeling of, I can't be in this energy, in this place, in this situation anymore, right? That person is not one person, yeah? So it's more abstract. And again, this could be a personal journey. You could be confronting something in yourself. Maybe you realize you're the Goliath in the situation and you want to get right with yourself. Perfect. Now, what's the ideal here? Well, maybe not the ideal. Thank you. And they're like, wait a minute now. 10 of Cups. It could be that, you know, in the long run, Gemini, this is what you're looking out for. Your overall happiness, your overall contentment and joy, right? Seeing yourself in a healthier emotional state, mental state as well for some of you, if not all of you. This 10 of Cups is like, I don't want to say bliss because I think that's a little hyperbolic. I think that's a little bit of an overreach. But the feeling of release, the feeling of calm, the feeling of not having to feel inadequate. That's okay. Thank you. Not feeling inadequate. When we have the 10 of Cups, we are fulfilled emotionally. Yeah. So there's no room for inadequacy. There's no room to feel something isn't enough, or you're not enough, or we are, you know, in the 10 of Cups, you don't dwell on anything negative, or nothing negative is sort of permitted around you. There's like, see, look at the structure. Nothing negative is permitted around you, right? There's like a barrier here. Very interesting. Some of you, like, that might come in like the form of like a restraining order, or that might come in the form of like taking certain actions like lawsuits, or, you know, getting ordinances, whatever, where certain things or people or, you know, interactions are now prohibited. Yeah. Some of you, yeah, because the 6 of Cups, going back there, like, well, I did mention it, childhood, but it can also mention children in this moment, like children. So some of you are like protecting your children, you know, just to put it out there. Some of you might be protecting your children, or you might work in a situation. You might be working a case. Like, this might not even be your story, Gemini. Like, you could be a caseworker, a social worker, and like, this is what you're dealing with. You're having to put into place certain protections in order to you know, keep children safe, something like that. But generally, you know, less specifically, the 10 of Cups is about security, emotional security, emotional contentment, feeling nothing is going to penetrate this moment, penetrate this energy, right? So some of you, like I said before, this could have all been a spiritual journey, a personal enlightenment journey, and you might be setting up certain mantras for yourself, setting into place certain practices and routines that protect you, guard you. I'm here for that, because that's what I do. And let me tell you, I've been doing that for several years now. I'm pretty well protected. I know this. I know it because I've manifested it, right? So some of you might be on that same trajectory of manifesting your own protection, whether that be, again, in a lawful way, getting restraining orders, getting ordinances, you know, putting limitations on certain interactions between you and other people, or you're doing it on a spiritual plane, on a more spiritual tip, yeah? Beautiful. I like that. Outcome for June, Gemini. Oh, so hold on, something's in the way here. One moment, please. All right, Gemini, I apologize. I had to clear something off of my computer there. Your outcome for June is the Four of Swords. I'm going to have to make some tea. My throat feels really agitated. Again, going back to your meditation, now my throat is very irritated, and it shouldn't be. Anyway, Four of Swords. So it's not easy what you're trying to do. You've, like I said, meditated on it, reflected on it, been thinking about it, right? If you can see, she's got a lot of swords in her hair, aka in her head. So there's a lot of thoughts you've had about this situation. A lot of ways in which you could have explored the potential outcome, something like that. And for a while, like I said, for some of you, when we started your reading with the Chariot, you might need a vacation. You might need a mental health day or mental health week or month. You know what I mean? Where you take extensive time to take care of yourself. You take an extensive amount of time to self-reflect, to rest, to gain some respite. Okay? This can be sometimes for me therapy, because the traditional, I mean, we're kind of seeing it here with this artwork, but the traditional depiction shows a man lying like on a sarcophagus or some type of slab. Other things, this person is like lying on a couch or a bed, right? So there's this sense of lying down and being, receiving some type of therapy. So some of you, this has all been, again, a personal journey towards healing yourself over past traumas, and you're doing that work with the aid of a therapist, okay? Whatever type of therapy it is, it could be traditional, Freudian, tell me about your mother, type of thing, or it could be something new and holistic, right? Whatever floats your boat. Anything else? Others of you, it's like very like not decidedly about rest and relaxation. You're just going to end up in this state of feeling like exhausted, or you're going to end up in this state of feeling like, I don't want to do anything. And you're kind of going to be like, well, why is that? And you're going to think back like, oh, it's because I've been thinking so long and hard about all this drama in my life. And, I decided just to take a week off of work, or I decided to, go visit old friends or do whatever. And you're not going to really be that conscious of it. But the result is still the same, I think. You're going to get some type of insight when you kind of decompress from everything, okay? Overall energy, hell yes. Not hell yes in a good way, but hell yes is in a confirmation. Overall energy is the Ten of Wands. This whole thing has been a burden. The situation, the people, the places and the memories, and your effort to persevere and push through and gain guidance, gain clarity, to not feel what you're feeling, but feeling what you're feeling anyway, because when those deep truths come out, it's kind of hard to stuff them back in, you know what I mean? So you've been really wrestling to take care of all of this on your own. As you can see, it's probably back-breaking efforts that you've put forward. Because, to again, arbitrarily, it's arbitrary because it's common, or I shouldn't say arbitrary, but it's typical. It's very typical for people who have been in situations where they've been abused in whatever way, manipulated in whatever way, to still have an integrated relationship with the person who perpetrated that energy upon them. So if you have been abused at the hands of a family member, you might still be in contact with that person, still on a regular, if not day-to-day basis, speak with, live with, work with that person. Regardless of who they are in your life, family member, friend, coworker, boss, whomever, and you're carrying that burden every day. You're going to let it go, because tens are culmination points. So it's going to come to some type of end, and you will be released from this in some type of way. It's not an overnight process. Knight of Pentacles showed that to us. Four of Swords is showing that to us. Six of Cups is also showing that, and the Eight of Pentacles. This is not something that's going to be a flip of a switch. But you're going to put in the work to make it as seamlessly, well, maybe not seamless, but you're going to put in the work to get this released from you. Okay? Gemini, that's your reading for June. If you liked it, if you found something here that was useful to you, please hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. It's kind of a potentially touchy subject, so share if you feel compelled. You don't have to. You can share the video directly though to people that you think would benefit from this message, or just to show that you like my content. That would be super cool. And if you have not subscribed, my friends, please consider subscribing. Gemini, I will be back soon to do that live for you on June 13th, as well as your mid-June messages. I'm also, again, planning that surprise live, so be on the lookout for that. If you want a personal reading, that information is in the description box below, as well as the Instagram link, okay? All right, Gemini, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Take care.